This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
Welcome in, my friends, to another episode of Behind the Pen. My name is Mike Rankin, and I will be your host for today's show, and it's just me today, and I'm going to try and get this podcast under an hour, and if I could do that, I'll be impressed, because there's plenty on tap for today. Well, this evening, this very muggy, rainy, nasty Chicago evening in August. Well, there's plenty to talk about, including my Chicago Bears, our Chicago Bears, for those who are fans of Behind the Pen, and the best team in football. Also, Olympics are going on. Summer Olympics. I'm going to talk about that. Maybe not dissect, because, I'm not going to break down the freaking Olympics. That's not going to happen. I'll just talk about some stuff and some things, and hopefully you're entertained by those things and stuff. Also, in the MLB, we have guys who we recognize. We grew up watching. They're gone. They're retiring. We're going to get into that. Also, what's going on with the Chicago Cubs? Well, yeah, they're the best team in baseball, but there's been this story going on with Tommy La Stella. And I guess I kind of have to, selfishly thank La Stella, because that gives me a chance to talk Cubs on my own show. I mean, I can talk Cubs whenever I want, but at the same time, if I keep doing it, you guys will get sick of it. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna, it's interesting. You guys have to stick around for that. It's something that I really, though all my years of covering and following baseball, I've never experienced something like this. So stay tuned for all of it. All of it. It's going to be a jam-packed show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully I can entertain you for that. Also, I got to plug, of course, the necessities. Patreon.com/most valuable podcast. Become a patron, guys. Please, come on. Just do it already, would you? All right? If you don't, it's fine, I guess. But big news. Big news for Most Valuable Podcasts. We are moving to blogtalkradio.com. Awesome. That gives us a chance to, be more legit and reach out to more people. It helps our product grow. So hopefully it helps us, and it should, because it'll get a larger reach than we do on SoundCloud. We love SoundCloud, but on October 1st, no more SoundCloud. So be aware of that. We're going to blogtalkradio.com/most valuable podcast. We'll have everything for you. And as always, thank you all for listening. Without you, we would be nothing. We would just be a few guys talking into a microphone. And like I said, as much as I like to listen to myself speak, it wouldn't be as fun without you guys. So thank you. All right, let's get into this Chicago Bears, whatever that was. So finally, OTAs are done. Training camp's done. They have actual live games to look forward to now up until the season, September 11th in Houston against the Texans. Very much looking forward to that game. Not so much looking forward to talking about the first preseason game, because holy crap. That was not good. Yeah, it's preseason and it doesn't count for anything. Really, the goal is to stay healthy, see who can play, see who's going to be on the 53-man roster, as well as sticking around in the practice squad. But the main thing is to stay healthy. And guys are getting hurt, and they've been getting hurt since the beginning of training camp, but I digress. Let's talk about this first preseason game, and I'm not going to harp too much on the negatives, obviously, because it's the first live action. There's new players, new offensive system. They want to see who they can plug in defensively, especially in the secondary, that will make plays for them. They're a much more athletic team, and that's obvious. And that's the most optimistic thing that I could be excited about for the Chicago Bears going into 2016, because last year, holy crap, Shea McClellan, Jonathan Anderson, Christian Jones running around not knowing what the hell they're doing. So this year, that front seven's upgraded. Their receiving core is much better as long as they stay healthy. So going into this preseason, I was looking forward to seeing several different players perform. Obviously Cutler. You want Cutler to be able to get the ball to his playmakers in Jeffrey and White. It was nice that Jeffrey took the field. It was also nice to see Kevin White kind of getting involved, kind of getting his legs in there, getting his first taste of what an actual NFL game is, get accustomed to the speed. Look, it's a different game going from practice now to live action against really fast and athletic people who will hit you hard. So that'll be interesting to see it's different going across the middle in practice than in a preseason or even in a regular season game. So, I don't know. There's a lot of things to be excited about, despite the fact that Zach Miller had a concussion, Eddie Royal had a concussion, Marquise Wilson was on the physically unable to perform list going, and I don't know how long he's going to be out. It seems like a while. They lost Grisou, and speaking of Grisou, that offensive line looked terrible. And really, let's get into that conversation a little bit, because that was definitely the main concern last night, or whatever day they played, Thursday. That was bad. And of course, they didn't really necessarily game plan for what the Broncos were going to bring. Obviously, they have an athletic defense, one of the best defenses in football, but like their top 6 defensive players weren't even in the game. You know, we didn't see TJ Ward. We didn't even see Von Miller. You know, guys like that carried this team. They weren't there. And over again, we saw free rushers coming at Cutler. That's not good, especially since this offensive line really is not so much there's young players in the interior besides Ted Larson. We expected Grisou to be there, but Larson's got to do it. I have faith in Larson. He's a good player. But Whitehair's in his first season. Hopefully he can adjust. I think he's going to be a good player. Obviously, he's going to have some growing pains, but still, you have Kyle Long, best guard probably in football, and I'll continue to say that. He's damn good at what he does, and he should stay at guard. No need to move him to left tackle or right tackle. Don't do that. Bobby Massey, new player. Charles Leno, he's got a lot to prove. But if you look at it, that's okay. Those starting 5 linemen, you can live with that. And they're going to get better. They're only going to get better. And I have faith that they'll perform well enough to keep them in games. And that's really all you need. But they have no depth in the offensive line. When the second string offensive lineman came in, it was just blitz, free rushes to the quarterback over and over again. The depth scares me. And I was excited about the depth of the offensive line this season because there were several free agent signings that they made. They were excited about Whitehair. They were excited about Grisou. Whether or not Grisou was going to be better than last year because he was not good. But, you know, it was his second season. It was a chance for him to grow. They expect him to be their starting center. But now he's out for the year. You cut Matt Slauson because you figured that you were going to go younger and you had enough depth that you didn't need Slauson, even though he was like their second best lineman last year. So that comes back and that bites you right in the behind because obviously you can't see the future, but now, oh boy, I can't even tell you who the backup linemen are. And that's kind of concerning, which means you got to have that front 5 healthy all season, and that's probably not going to happen. So that group has some work to do. I'm not going to deny it. We'll see how the progressions go as this preseason campaign, we can call it, continues. Because next week, they'll be able to practice with the New England Patriots, and they'll be playing them in Foxborough. Should be a bloodbath. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It's preseason. No big deal. They're not going to throw out their complete offensive playbook at them, and, you know, vice versa. They're not going to show them all these disguised schemes on the defensive side. It's just basic. They got to see who can play and who's willing to be a contributor on the 53-man. That's all it is. Don't look so much at the results. Look at what the individual players are doing, and that's what the preseason is about, watching individual performances. Now, let's talk about some individual performances. This draft class, I feel like, is going to be pretty impactful. Not even talking right away. Like, I'm saying this year, next year, and well into the future, hopefully. But I think that Ryan Pace did well to find positions of need within the draft that are impact players. Some bright spots offensively. Obviously, it was nice to see Alshon Jeffrey on the field dealing with that hamstring, calf injury, whatever it was. Hopefully, he's healthy by week 1. That's all that we care about with him. You stay on the field for 16 freaking games and you're going to get paid, you're fine. Kevin White, hey, made a nice screen play, I guess. Whatever. He was on the field. He saw some live action. Good for him. Cody Whitehair, not bad. Not bad. He's got plenty of time to develop. Josh Bellamy. How about Josh Bellamy? He's definitely going to make the 53-man roster as one of the receivers. You just got to believe it. He's been on the field. He is a pretty decent route runner. Other than that, on the offensive side, I saw, oh, God, it was, not good. Not good. Defensively, I was looking forward to more so the defensive side of the ball than the offense, because we know, new system, jumbled up offensive line, you're going to have some hiccups, and that whole freaking whatever that was a bad one. Hopefully it gets fixed, but defensively, they invested a lot in the draft on this side of the ball. Deion Bush, first of all, there's a lot of freaking players starting with a D. You got Deontay Thompson, Deion Bush, DeAndre Houston Carson, DeAndre Hall. I'm sorry if I butcher or if I mix them up. They're all over the place. They're littered. But DeAndre Hall played a nice game at corner. And he's one of those guys, too, that the Bears are high on. He's lengthy and he's athletic. He can make the play. He just needs to figure out the speed of the game. Obviously, he's got to get accustomed to it. He's got to be better playing the ball. You know, he made a couple nice plays in preseason. He stood out. It looked good. I was excited for him. Keep an eye on him because Kyle Fuller, man. Kyle Fuller is going to be under a microscope. People are going to watch him like a hawk, and he's got to perform. Former first-round draft pick. He's got to play better than what we've seen. And Tracy Porter was their best corner last year, and he's just a guy. So they're going to have to find some pieces in the secondary that they can rely on because really you don't have faith in almost anyone. I think Bryce Callahan, who stood out last year, he's going to get better, and I think they're going to play him a lot, whether it's in the nickel or as a corner, press coverage. I don't know how often he'll do that, but yeah, he had that misstep in the first quarter, the first possession, I believe, on defense. Mark Sanchez went deep to Demaryius Thomas, and I guess he tried to pass him off to a safety that wasn't there. So yeah, you can't do that. But he made an athletic play, tipped the ball, allowed Darrell Freeman to make that pick. So that was cool. I think that Bryce Callahan is going to emerge as one of those guys that is going to see a lot of playing time. He's going to make some plays. I think they're high on him as well. DeAndre Houston Carson, he's one of those hybrid types. I was looking at him because he played a lot, and so did DeAndre Hall, who did well, and Deion Bush, who were DeAndre Houston Carson, 6th-round draft pick, Deion Bush, DeAndre Hall, 4th-round picks. Houston Carson first, that hybrid between corner and safety. He's definitely going to see some time on special teams. Got beat on a block, whatever, it's going to happen. You know, just figure it out. It's the preseason. This is why you get the kinks out before the season starts. I'm excited about him. First-round draft pick Leonard Floyd didn't look terrible. It's obvious that he's got some issues in terms of strength and beating guys off the ball. He's fast, though. He's very fast, athletic. He's going to make some plays. He'll be fine. I'm not so much worried about Leonard Floyd. Their defensive line. Hey, Jonathan Bullard looked pretty good. I feel like he's going to play a lot. Eddie Goldman, he's developing into a very nice player. Eddie Goldman's probably going to be their most disruptive pass rusher next to maybe Akeem Hicks on the line. So that's exciting. Also, Will Young signed an extension. I thought he didn't want to play for the Bears anymore, but I guess he does because he's there for another 2 years. That's awesome. But overall, the guy who stood out the most to me was Darrell Freeman. And he played that first quarter. He looked good. He was in the right spots, and that's something we haven't seen in the linebacking position in a while. You have faith in the guys to be in the right spots, make the right reads, actually make athletic plays. Darrell Freeman had that pick, helped by Bryce Callahan. That was a nice play. And you could tell. Freeman will let you know that he's on the field. He hits you hard. And we saw that a little bit in the first quarter of the preseason. So that was nice. And Danny Trevathan as well. So it's not all bad. I know it was awful. The reserves looked terrible. That's the thing that's most concerning, especially on the line. But the Bears will be all right, guys. No need to panic here. It's only the first week of the preseason. It's a little fun thing we can do is break down individual performances, and really that's all it is. I'm excited, very much so, as I wrap this Bears conversation up, for Kadeem Carey. I really am excited about this kid. He, unfortunately, it looked like he got a concussion in the play, special teams punt return, I believe it was. He came flying in, led with his head, I guess side of the knee or whatever it was. The other player just kicks him right in the side of the head. That's that's a concussion right away. So he's under protocol. Hopefully he's not out for a while because he's going to be a big-time contributor, especially on offense. I'm excited. I am still excited. I haven't lost my optimism, and I shouldn't. Nobody should after the first preseason game. But it just shows that what that was a slap in the face being like, all right, we got work to do. Let's be men and let's do some work. Let's get better. Hopefully there's some improvement that we see. If we really want to start panicking, let's wait until after the third preseason game because that's probably as close to game ready as we'll see. Obviously, they'll start their starters and play them for probably a half, maybe a little bit more. So until then, we could just enjoy watching new Chicago Bears players take the field and continue to count down till kickoff. Bears will still be fine. They're going 10-6 and making the playoffs. I'm not backing away from that prediction. So sue me. Come at me. Tell me I'm an idiot. That's fine. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.